All right. So last time on Curse of Strahd, our adventurers, you guys, having struggled with what to do with your time leading up to the festival of the blazing sun, you were approached by a servant or the sons of the Lady Voctor, who you had been asked to investigate with, who would like to meet with you as well. Wanting to take a look at the lake, you stumbled to the cold mirror-like lake at the foot of Mount Bartok, just north of the city, where you found that drunken fisherman Bluto as he was apparently shuffling some sort of sack over the edge. Rushing out, you discovered a small child and apprehended Bluto before bringing her back to the Vistani camp. Being well rewarded and gifted for your heroism, on your way out, you met with a dusk elf who had a bit of information to share with you about the history of the dusk elves and that of the Lord Strahd himself. So that is where we will pick up. And as the individual stares at you, and I don't know why my music is gone.
What happened? Hey,
There we go. So it was some time ago that, again, we challenged Strahd and failed. And he took all of our women as recompense for our crimes. One of them was my sister, and she was a talented healer, a mage of some caliber. Still, she seems to speak to me in visions and dreams, and often in these visions and dreams, she's taking me south, further into the mountains to a temple. I've come to know this as the Amber Temple. It is my belief that there, somewhere in Mount Garkis, is perhaps the key to freeing this land from Strahd, perhaps certain death. It's tough to say. Could be Strahd playing a trick on me, some sort of deception. But the dreams are so visceral and real, it's hard to say. But if the four of you are truly looking for a way out of Barovia, if you're truly looking for a way to defeat Strahd and will not heed any warning, then I will travel with you to the temple and we will see what we find.
Oh, that sounds very promising. You said a temple, as in an abbey of sorts, maybe?
I know that you are new here, but no, the abbey is to the west. This is something older. Something as old as Barovia itself.
Oh.
these dreams you got, they don't not any more clear than that. They're just, well, I've got some sort of feeling over at some what was the name of it? Mount Gakis?
Correct, yes, that's a mountain to the south of us. Make an insight check.
Is that just an open-ended one?
Sure.
The dice don't seem to be working as far as on screen, but that was a 5.
I got a 26.
Interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't look like any of the plugins loaded.
Interesting. They definitely have. I mean, but no, there are a few that haven't they? I know what's happened. Anyways. So with the 26, you feel like there is something that he is withholding. You don't feel like he's being disingenuous. He doesn't feel like you're pretty sure he's being honest, but he's definitely withholding maybe more from the dreams.
Okay. He'll just hear in the back of his head, oh, out with it then. You got more, surely.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay. 24.
Okay.
I have to see if I can get this out of safe mode. That's what happened because I was having problems earlier. Please hold. So again, there isn't much, just mostly to do with my sister. It's suffice to say that the information I'm getting leads me to believe that they are coming from her, not him. But I very much believe that perhaps the answer to defeating Strahd, to ridding this land of its curse, lies somewhere. Somewhere.
Are you sure you haven't been eating some pastries from a lady with a card? It's an honest question. You can say that I'm just wrong.
I said to restart the server, guys, so just bear with me.
Okay.
I am certain. Do you mean the old lady at the windmill?
Same one. So,
I have not imbibed of her pastries, although I've seen the windmill and I've seen the cart, but no, unfortunately I've never had that luxury, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's a lead we gotta check. We had an appointment tonight, though. I think maybe we go talk to this Baroness and then hit it in the morning.
what, the windmill?
No, the mountain.
Seems to me to be our best option. Figure out what they want if she really is with Strahd.
How long will it take us to get to this temple? Temple of Amber, you said?
Yes, it will be. It is colloquially known as the Amber Temple, yes, but it will be several days. It is not a pleasant journey, and this time of year it will be painfully cold. So I would say bring warm clothing. There are two different ways we could.
Later.
Well, again, it is up to you. I'm reluctant to do this, but you seem genuine in your resolve.
Yeah, I really want to get out of here.
He slowly looks at Cole. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's just down to a timeline, isn't it? Let's have a think on it, and think we'll get back to you.
That is it's good to hear. But like I said, if you come, be prepared. It is a difficult journey through the Svalak woods. There, as I was about to say, there are two different ways we can take. There are two paths. One is to follow the river to the mountain, although I don't recommend it. It's quicker but more dangerous.
How is it more dangerous? I would think it would be slightly safer, unless you have dryads and naiad issues like I did.
There are stories of a mansion haunted, and we'll pass by it. That is the least of the concerns. There's a ruin, a dark place, an old city that once stood at the foot of the mountain. Yes.
Another city, huh?
Well, not really. It hasn't been for quite some time, but it's just again, there are rumors of terrible things.
He slowly looks to Cole again.
Mate, we'll talk about it outside.
Mm-hmm.
You keep saying that, mate. Oh, fine. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I guess I'll sort of give a theatric, flourishing bow and walk out.
Okay.
Walk out the home.
I'll make sure that it gets on our docket of many things that we have to do.
Let me know. We are not going anywhere, so good luck. Stay safe out there.
You as well. And he does like a soft head bow and just walks out after Cole.
My thanks for your time, my friend, and the tale was most compelling. I must admit, I am interested to see it through, but for now, I must take my leave. And Durango bows deeply and like a snap bow. It's kind of like disappears out of the tent flap.
Ash hangs out for a second. They're fucking weird. Have a good night.
There are many weird things, sir, in this land, and they are not the weirdest. But it is wise to be cautious.
Yeah.
Good night. And as you guys step out, two of the Dusk Elf guards sort of look at you.
Good evening.
Nod.
Good evening.
The Luvash is there still. He sort of turns to you quickly. Well, did that everything go well?
I mean, he told a story. We listened. I'd say it went about as well as it could have gone.
I like stories.
It is a terrible tale. And when we do not soon forget. They are good people, but Lord Strahd is, he is a lord of this land and will not abide such uprisings. Yes, a lesson learned. I'm sure history has many of these tales.
Oh yeah, lots of tales of wiping out an entire race.
It's more common than you might think, mate. We might be back at some point. Is it any sort of? Can we just show up? I don't know, sort of bit informal.
Yes,
situation.
no, of course. You are friends of the Vistani here. You've saved my daughter. You are welcome at any time. Yes, of course. Anytime you see our wagons, you are welcome.
Oh, we appreciate that.
And I appreciate you. So, good luck. Enjoy yourselves. Hopefully, we see you soon. Our paths will cross again. Yeah.
Likely.
Good. I look forward to it.
Mm-hmm. Then he just turns and walks away, going back towards the tavern.
Yep. Walk and talk. Alright, so we got a metric buttload of things to do right now. So what we got on our plates?
We've got the wizard, we've got the temple, we've got the abbey, we've got the windmill. We've already found one of the cards, which is nice. We're looking for a cage, a man who doesn't seem what he is, for vengeance and sunlight. I'm still stuck on that one because it seems kind of important, if you ask me.
Well, dusk
especially-
is, the waning of sunlight. And he would have a reason to have vengeance.
Yes, but he doesn't have anything that's a cage.
A temple could be a cage.
No, it spoke specifically of a wagon.
Of a
that was
literal
a cage. Oh, hold on. Let
We
me.
just came from a bunch of wagons.
I understand that, and I looked around for a moment, but I didn't do a deep, thorough investigation. And we have things to do tonight. I mean, I'd like to have more whining and dining with the Vistani. They're a great group of people, but at the same time, we have things to do.
I'm afraid tonight we are occupied with a more refined strata of people, yes?
And tomorrow we have the festival. So between those two things, we're a little busy to go about just drinking with newfound friends. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No, I think you're right.
Then maybe, how about tomorrow morning before the festival begins, or after the festival begins, whichever one, or after it ends, I don't care. How about we come back to the Vistani, saying that we wanted to check in on the little girl to make sure that she was okay, and, mingle.
Well, it's not really the Vistani way. Hold on. I'm gonna look around. Are there any crows flying around?
Crows, or do you mean
Or
ravens?
ravens? Sorry, not crows. Ravens.
Sure, make a perception check.
Perception. A natural
Nice.
20 for a 21 total.
Brilliant.
So it's difficult to tell. The mist is thick. The way that this particular camp is set up, it's very much built into a mound, right? So the Vistani are at the top of this small hill that protrudes, and all around it is thick forest. The mist seems to choke up around the edge of the mountain, being pushed back by the campfires and the light. And you don't see anything for a minute. Then as your eyes scan the tree line, you find an oak at the edge of your path, the path back to the city. And on one of its branches, there are two ravens staring out at you. I mean, not staring at you, right? I mean, they wouldn't be. Why would ravens stare at you? But as soon as your eyes catch them, they screech loudly before taking to the air.
An infernal. I'm gonna talk over to Durango. I think I'm going crazy.
Durango replies also in Infernal. Well, Mr. Cole, what troubles you, my friend?
This sounds bollocks, but I think the birds are watching us.
This is not so unusual, no? The birds, they sit above, they look down. We are here.
Not like general interest, like they were at the tavern, it's always ravens. Ain't nothing else. And some of them, couldn't give butchers, but the others, I think are watching.
Durango's gonna look in the general direction that the Cole's talking about and try and see these for himself.
Right at that tree over there, and
I gotta reload.
Yeah, with him pointing directly at them, you see the birds now, but they've taken off in flight. So you just catch them as they are begin to swoop up into the woods.
Now they're barking at birds.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever get used to it.
It's weird.
Well, Mr. Cole, I know you've had a nose for such things before, and you sense things in a way that I do not. I shall watch the birds.
keep an eye, and I'm gonna tell him. And then back in common. Sorry about that, mate. I just want to make sure I wasn't daft or something. Do you think the birds are being a bit suspicious?
Yes, I've seen them all over the place. They've been all over the tavern. They've been all down the road as we travel. Have you not noticed them? The ravens, it's almost like they're following us, though I'm quite convinced it's a deific situation, so I don't question it.
What? Like a god?
Like a deity.
I mean, I've noticed them. I don't know if I'd say they're god birds, but I definitely have noticed
I mean,
them.
it's the symbol of the Raven Queen, after all. I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
And they seem to be more intelligent than most, so either we're being followed by crows that think we're just shiny, or ravens that think we're just shiny, and typically that's more crows than ravens, I think. Or our hostess at the inn is not so superstitious and rather religious. If I remember right, I think it was her that said something about it. May have been the priest. I don't actually remember.
DM, would I know much about the Raven Queen?
Make a religion check.
I just assumed everybody else noticed.
6.
You would have a vague knowledge of the deity known as the Raven Queen, although she typically wasn't acknowledged much in Casarda, as she is a newer or relatively newer deity to the pantheon and not necessarily recognized in the older texts. So there isn't a ton of information about her.
All right. I think before we have sensitive conversations, for the time being, we might want to have a peep for him.
I don't see a problem with it. We've got multiple people watching us at this point.
That'll make you uneasy.
Frankly speaking, I'm used to people watching me, so...
Eh.
People are always watching. It's how you look.
It's
Not
exactly.
interesting. That matters.
Precisely. Not only that, but it sounds as though the Vistani, the
Vistani?
Vistani, thank you. It's almost as if they've been sent around to watch us, not just us, but everyone in general. For Strahd, I'm assuming. It's almost as if the entire town has some semblance of someone to watch everyone, no matter which town we're in. The 2.5 that exist, considering that we just learned of a third that apparently isn't worth two shits. But,
As Ten starts discussing these more sensitive matters, Durango starts just wailing on his lute, trying to like create some background noise to dissuade eavesdroppers.
It always feels like somebody's watching.
I mean, frankly speaking, the two of you met the guy, and he knew exactly where to find you.
I must admit, Mr. Tens, in my case, I do not find this so unusual.
No, of course you don't.
I'm kind of on both your sides. We were in the shadow of his castle, so it's not like it was a leap for him to find us in the only pub in town when we're the only newcomers in a while. But I do think he's got people watching. People wouldn't be this scared of him if he didn't have people feeding him information.
This woman that we're supposed to go meet with here shortly, we should be moving.
Oh yeah,
if she is an agent of Strahd, there's just another set of eyes. Along with her sons, I believe.
why not?
Yeah, but now we could be looking back at him.
Well, so we've got to assume that Strahd knows why he talked to the Dusk Elves, right? And it's specifically to the one that he's messing with.
To be fair, the Volaki are right there. Of course he's watching them, and of course they saw us come in. If they're the ones that bring people in for Strahd, of course Strahd knows that we talked to them. It's a bit late to turn around on that one.
No, I'm not saying we should have done anything different, mate. I'm just saying, just be prepared for our interactions with Strahd to get increasingly
Aggressive
from these points out. And it might be in our best interest to find ways of minimizing the amount of eyes watching us in this sort of respect.
I've had thoughts. We'll see. I'm well versed in disguising people. I've made quite a few disguises for myself in the past, so.
Sometimes your best bet is just to hide in plain sight.
Well, you get a pass.
So, back to the original point. Rich lady's house first.
Mm-hmm.
Not only.
Go ahead.
Please continue, my friend.
Well, festival tomorrow, and then maybe this December temple.
Maybe. Do we want to go for the temple before we talk to the mage, or do we?
It sounds like the mage is out of his mind.
Mage might be more helpful if we had information from the temple to give him.
That's also true. Mages do like old things.
Although the journey to this temple sounds most unpleasant, at least we know where we are going. This mage of yours, we do not know where he is. I, for one, would wish to minimize traipsing about pointlessly into the sticks.
There is one that we know exactly where they are.
We're not going to the old lady's windmill.
Come on. Just want to get another pastry or two.
We're going to have to let him at some point. He won't shut up unless we do it.
It's true. Listen, the dreams were nice. Okay? I don't get them very often.
Just make sure that we're in a safe place when you use it, not just in the middle of woods next time.
I've learned my lesson, thank you. Believe it or not, I'm not entirely stupid. I just assumed that.
Howard just looks at him.
The confidence of friends.
I don't think you're stupid. I think you're just an idiot.
I'm neither.
Ain't
It's
that
easy
one
to
the
play
same?
the fool. No, they're not actually. They're similar, but they're different.
If he was stupid, he wouldn't know things. Idiot just means he doesn't use them.
It's not that I don't use them. It's not that I don't use them, okay? It's called playing the fool. When are you going to understand? More people are more trustworthy are people who are on their level. You guys trusted me from the get-go because you thought I was stupid. To an extent.
Rango, we trust him.
No.
The elf gives himself far too much credit. I still do not.
Trust is a flexible word. It's like Tura and we're still
Tolerance.
working on the R for a couple of us.
So for tonight, my friends, do we have a plan in mind for how to deal with this lady? We are supposed to investigate her allegiances, no?
Well, I'd say if we could have a conversation with her, see if we can poke questions and get some answers out of her. We should probably do that. But it would probably also help if we could, let's be real, if we could look around her house.
I had an idea of my own, perhaps, to lean into my natural talents, of course. I thought perhaps I would play some select songs related to this land and some of its stories, and yourselves might be able to judge her reaction to this. See if that is sympathetic or spiteful, or, music touches deeper than just words, no?
I will say, I have my doubts about her allegiances to Strahd, specifically because we didn't actually get addressed until after the bones were back in the church. It may also be a trap, so we need to be on our toes as we move in. Just a thought.
Yeah?
I guess it all depends what side Strahd thinks we're on.
Well, I suppose it depends on what side she thinks we're on. And you just got something from a very, very, very old church.
We
What
just did busted up a bunch of vampires, and if he's one of them,
That's what I'm saying.
we already chose a side, I guess.
In a way.
We chose the side that gets us out of here.
Apparently not. I don't know that we did.
We chose the side that at least gives us a chance to try to get out of here.
I don't know that we did. In all reality, if we wanted to get out of here, we could have become agents of Strahd first. But we also didn't know that that was even an option. So,
Well,
here's how we spin that one. Instead of saying we picked this side, we just say we did what we thought was right for the situation at hand. Not necessarily, not necessarily that we're doing what we thought would get us out of here, because staying in one spot inside of a church may not be the best step forward in getting out of here. You understand? Like, you can see how that would be offensive to the Lord of the Land.
where a Strahd systematically slaughtered every single female of
I'm aware.
elven
I'm not
elven
exactly-
people.
I'm aware. I have a problem.
I know
with
of
that.
temperance is in his vocabulary.
Do not think of it, gentlemen, as we have chosen sides. We have demonstrated strength. This is a position from which you can negotiate. You notice how much more polite a person is when you have a blade on your hip, no? He pats his own, the basket hilt of his rapier at his side.
I find that often unnecessary. It's just a matter of reasoning with people. Whether
Well-
or not he's reasonable is questionable. I haven't met the man, so I don't know.
Well, We'll try it your way, talk your way out of it. It ain't work. Wayne Rango know what to do, and I'm assuming. Pick your brain at some point. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, while this conversation's going on, I'm kind of just like checking out the holy symbol of Ravenkind that I got from the Vistani over there. Still looking over it, and I don't know if I have an identify magic. I think I got detect magic. No, yeah, I don't have any identify.
I don't think any of us have identify.
No.
Is there any writing on it?
Well, I mean, I've got the full description here, but it's a it's fun. I forgot about it, but speaking of ravens, so it looks like a holy symbol and a platinum amulet shaped like the sun with a large crystal embedded in the center. The holy symbol of Ravenkind was a sacred symbol to the good-hearted, faithful of Barovia. It existed before this whole nonsense happened. And it was gifted to a paladin, Lugdana, who used the holy symbol to root out and destroy nests of vampires until her death. Yeah, this thing just decimates the undead, it looks like.
Sounds like it's probably against Strahd, doesn't it? Which makes me feel a little bit better about the Ravens watching this, now that I say it out loud.
A bit, but it also came from a Vistani. That's who I got it from. I didn't get it from the Dusk Elf. This was a reward for... Well, if they were working for Strahd, why would they give it?
Well, that's a good point. I was wondering that myself, because it feels as though... And he kind of looks around, and Cole hears telepathically. It's almost as if the Vistani are double-hearted on the issue of Strahd. Almost as if they're also being held captive somehow in this. Forced servitude, if that's the case.
I reply back in Elvish.
I forget that he knows Elvish.
Suppose like anybody really, it's just not everybody thinks the same thing.
In Elvish, Ash goes, "What are you guys talking about?"
He's speaking in Elvish. I don't know that the Vistani are all subverted the way they seem to be, according to everyone. Giving him this amulet feels very double-sided. It feels as though it was meant to help free them in some capacity. But that's just my perspective. My perspective is wild at times, so I like to look at the full picture before I make an absolute out of anything.
Still in Elvish. Well, maybe they're doing that other plan you were talking about. Play the servant to play the master for the fool.
That'd be smart.
Is this how this feels? I am most sorry, gentlemen.
You're probably getting close to town at this point, right?
Yeah, I was gonna
You
say.
are, yeah, and the sun is the sun is almost setting, and you arrive at the town gates just maybe an hour or so before sunset. The guards give you sideways glances before letting you enter, and you are once again back in the town of Valaki.
And as soon as they pass through the town gates, like a switch has been flicked, Durango's demeanor goes into professional mode. He's standing a bit straighter. He's got a little bit of swagger to his step. He's smiling far too widely. He's nodding to people in the street, bowing to ladies. You know, putting on the whole performance. Now that they're back out of the wilderness.
It's always nice to have a backing track as we walk.
Let's give him a quick little elbow. Mate, you got road dirt all over yourself.
Durango's eyes go wide as and kind of looks horrified, and he snaps his finger a couple of times and cleans himself up, looks relieved for a moment, but then sees Cole and looks horrified again and repeats the performance.
Do we know where we're going? Like, do we know where we're supposed to go for this meeting? Or do we need to start asking around?
Probably. Well, so what I figured that we'd do is like probably get cleaned up, have some food, maybe talk to the bartender. I'm sure she knows.
That's fair.
You know.
I feel like
Where
we
that
were
would
supposed
be.
to have, I feel like we were supposed to have dinner with her.
Oh,
though,
are we?
so
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
I don't remember.
It is impolite to eat too much at these kind of things. It is best to look like you are enjoying it, but are being reserved. To overeat is most ungracious.
You want reserved then from me? You don't want this green going on? I imagine you don't want me to be a jerk like I was earlier today. So reserved, yeah?
I was unaware I had any say in these matters, Mr. Tens. Now that
I
I am
asked you
aware.
last time when we went to the Burgermeister, and it was, well, I didn't ask you specifically. I asked Cole, and it came into a conversation of, yeah, anyway. Reserved then? Okay.
But not cold, my friend. Not chilly. Warm.
Okay, if I do the calm but not cold, I eat everything. So you either get cold and reserved, listening, observing, occasionally speaking, or you get the hog.
well, out of the two, you know, more likely to see a cold, unforgiving person in that sort of atmosphere than someone that's sort of a glutton.
Okay.
That Cole shares his wisdom once again. I would agree. Yes.
Okay, so back to the Blue Water Inn then.
I think so.
Yeah, everyone
As
get
you-
cleaned
yeah,
up and
you-
snacks.
Make your way through the mud-filled streets, keeping yourself clean magically along the way. You arrive back at the Blue Water as night begins to fall once again on the town of Alaki.
He knocks on. He just lets everybody know, "Hey, I'm gonna go upstairs and change real quick. I've got a nicer set of clothes that I can wear for this, so I'll be right back."
This is very good.
The Blue Water is slower than many of the past few nights, as people seem to be reserving themselves for the festival. You see Rictavio there enjoying dinner at the bar as per usual. Danica bouncing around, a few other commoners, but not nearly the level of business you would expect of a typical night. Well, so let it out. What happened?
We went fishing and we caught something.
Hey, I saw that. How the whole town saw it. You paraded him through town like a criminal. Not that he isn't a layabout and a lout, but spill the beans. What happened?
Well, long short of it is, he caught himself a Vistani and decided to use it as bait. Vistani child, actually. And took her in a sack, threw her in the water. We would have drowned if we weren't there.
You know,
As he
it's a
says that,
shame.
Durango strikes a heroic pose, doing his best to like really, soak it up.
It's a shame. You know, there's the Vistani are they're not, to be trusted about as far as you could toss one, but they're still people, and people seem to forget that some of these legends and myths are just fear.
Well, he assumed it was going to have some sort of magic to it. Kept saying over and over, this will, I forget his exact words, but I'll catch a fish. This will bring fish to like. He thought that by doing this sort of bizarre, fucked up ritual,
He's gonna lift a curse on the lake.
Yeah, bloody fool.
That was his big plan.
That's what happens. Too much liquor. Not enough ambition, I guess. But well, it seems like you're comeback returning heroes, eh? Just in time for the festival tomorrow.
and hey,
We'd like to
at
make a
the
statement.
term hero, spine straight, shoulders back.
Be careful. You won't get too much love here for rescuing a Vistani girl, but
Well, it's better than having a Vistani corpse floating around your lake now, ain't it?
probably worse things floating around that lake. But yeah, you make a good point. Anyways, dinner, booze. What can I get you?
The lady is most perceptive. I will have both.
We're going to wine and dine with what was her name? Her lordship.
Lady somebody or another. Look at my memory.
You're gonna talk about Fiona Voctor, are you?
Oh, Lady Voxer, yes.
Most
Yeah.
perceptive once again.
Good luck there.
And why would we need good luck there?
She's scared. The nobles are devious. They got nothing better to do than plot against one another. And her house, her family's definitely seen better days. It's a real shame her husband passed maybe 10 years ago now. But family hasn't really recovered. 2 sons are worthless. A couple drunks.
I know she can walk then. You happen to know where she lives? We got invited, but we didn't get an address.
Yeah, well, you can't miss it. It's north side of town. Heading back towards the lake. A little off the main road, but house has seen better days.
Imagine with no one bringing in any money no more, and the sons not helping. It's amazing how quickly property goes into disrepair.
It really is, and it's to look at it, just almost like her own inflated sense of self-worth is literally imploding on her.
Hate to see it. I'll have a plate of that and some ale as well, thanks.
Yeah, of course.
Same in some wine, please.
Yeah, and she gives you it's a healthy portion of it's some sort of cooked meat, as well as some potatoes and they're dressed, interesting, and then like a greenish vegetable.
At this point, there's a cold breeze as Tens walks in, and darker clothes. They're a little bit nicer. Look like they probably fit the town for the most part. These are the dark, fancy clothes that he got from the death house. And there's a soft bit of frostbite across every bit of his form as he just kind of like holds his arms inside the pockets, like inside the robe pockets, the cloak pockets, I should say. And he just quietly sits down and
Nifty trick. How he's always changing colors like that.
Yeah. Nifty.
It's like having
Dance.
4 tins vetters.
Yeah. Dans, can I get you something to drink? Food.
You have any hot tea? Or anything hot to drink?
If you give you just a bit, I can whip something up for you.
That'll be fine. Thank you.
While we're eating dinner here, I don't know if this requires attunement at all, but I'm gonna just sit around with it, check it out, try to unveil its secrets. Oh, you are
Muted, dude.
muted, sir.
It does require attunement.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Yeah, by a cleric or paladin. Oh wait. Uh-oh.
So you spend a lot of time looking in really trying to get in touch with the holy symbol, and you can feel the magic, and you feel it calling out.
Mr. Krabs.
But as that sense of warmth, that light tries to or begins to creep into you, something down inside kind of pushes it away and pulls you away, so that you can't seem to make a connection with it. Yet.
Oh. I think, I don't think it likes me.
How can a necklace not like you?
Does anybody actually like you?
I think Durango's a fan. I think my mother's a fan. I was a fan.
On all of the road I have traveled, Sir Cole has been the best companion at my side.
Right from his mouth.
It was my attempt at a joke at the moment. Sorry.
If you gentlemen will excuse me, I have some preparations of my own to make before we leave. And Durango stands from the bar and takes his plate, about half eaten, grabs his loot, and makes his way upstairs to his room.
That's just chilling until we go, unless something happens.
Okay.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
where Tins is at.
Same.
It's around that time that Rictavio comes over the table and kind of leans in. And, hello, Mr. Mavvin.
Hello, hello.
Interesting piece you've got there.
Yeah, this is, I guess a bit of a reward for, saving the Vistani girl.
Reward from the Vistani.
Yeah, the, was it her father? It was her father, I think. Like, he told some sort of tale of, his daughter having special powers like his grandmother or whatever, something.
His mother, her mother, his
His mother?
Wives.
Her mother?
his wife's mother.
I wouldn't trust the Vistani. I've seen their kind. I've seen what they're capable of. They seem harmless and good-natured, but keep your guard up.
I mean, that's what we've seen of them too. They're the ones that got us into this mess in the first place.
Yes, well. Anyways, so I expect I see all you gentlemen at the festival tomorrow, yes?
Oh yeah, we have a performance slot. Wouldn't miss it.
Yeah,
We're-
excellent.
We're there, we're dead.
I look forward to seeing you then. I will get some rest because we have a busy day tomorrow. But as always, it has been a pleasure, and sleep well.
Can I do an insight check? Did he seem like overly interested in the necklace, like he wanted it, like when he was looking at it?
Make an insight check. Yeah.
Uh, 22.
I wouldn't say that he was over. I mean, yes. I mean, clearly he was interested in it, like as if he knew what it was and or had seen it and was familiar with it. As well as he seemed genuinely bitter and angry. Something dark something that resonated with you, Ash. That sort of hidden darkness that flashed on his face when he mentioned the Vistani.
Once he's out of the room, I'll relay that information to whoever's around. There's something more than just the usual fear, dislike of the Vistani with him. There's something extra there.
I'm still convinced he's the illusionist.
What was that card again?
And the 7 of stars.
Yeah, but the motto or the saying that went along with it.
He sits and he racks his brain for a moment, obviously distracted and not really paying attention. Card of power, strength, tells of a weapon, forged in vengeance and sunlight. I see a man, not necessarily what he is or seems. Some kind of cage that's a wagon thing. I don't know. He had a big tiger inside his thing last time. That's what he's carrying around the meat for.
Did we get our eyes on it, or were we just assuming?
Oh no, I saw it. I got up on top of the wagon. Did you see anything looking around the wagon, speaking of which?
There was blood splattering on the side. Like
And you failed to mention it.
Well, you know, it's happened since then. But yeah, there was a bit of blood, and there was something written on the side. Well, you know, it could have just been a messy tiger. Messy tiger. I should have just done this as Australian instead. There was something written on the side of the wagon too, but I can't quite remember what that was. But next time we'll get around it, have a look. It's some saying about the light, possibly.
I have it written down if you in character you would remember.
Okay, yeah, sure.
I bring you from shadow into light.
It at the time I just assumed it was his tent staking skills, but it said I bring you from shadow into light.
Probably won't find anything, but if you want to go look at his wagon later, we'll have to find a time when he's actually. It's kind of hard to keep track of his dinner time, and tomorrow's going to be too busy for us to go looking around, snooping around. I wonder if anybody watches his cart while people are. Oh, he's off eating dinner here or getting his breakfast or whatever.
Yeah, a tiger.
Besides the fucking tiger.
We could see.
Add it to the list.
Well,
It was always on mine.
Well, is
today.
that sort of on the way to where we're going tonight, or was it swing by?
I don't know.
I would honestly say that's probably a good thing for tomorrow while he's doing his performance. Because he ain't gonna be focused on his wagon.
Well, I guess. I mean, my story that I'm going to be telling is pretty shit, so I can go look, I guess, while you guys are doing your thing. I mean, you've always got your voices and your funny skin. You could probably have some fun. You'd be a better spectacle than the stupid colored elf.
You know, ain't no balance with your friend.
You said that a time or two.
This is
You're right.
like he's blue this time, but like he's like blue, like I'm sad blue. Like usually
I think I'm starting to get it. He's seasonal.
I've literally said that.
Well, yeah. I'm starting to get it. Takes me a while. Don't read too much into it.
So you're really not playing the fool then?
Listen, I know how to do a few things very well.
I've seen
Lie
a few of them.
and fight.
Tell me your best lie. I'm curious.
My best lie.
Mm-hmm. Give me your best lie. Because I bet I can see through it.
Cole's gonna start going through and telling a mostly true story.
Okay.
And we'll sneak the lie in somewhere. Do you want to roll for this?
Sure.
All right.
Deception versus insight.
I'm gonna start telling the story about the exploding goblin brains.
Goblin heads?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, let's hear it.
I'm just gonna Tim's just kind of like he leans over onto the table. Very boredly listens, but watches.
This is when I knew that my Rango had something. I forget the name of the town. Outside of it's outside of Casata somewhere. Not Old Owl Well, but a little past that. We were hired by a few bumpkins and to go clear out like a possession, a log cabin in the woods there, and it's one of those situations that someone wanted the land and they want to make sure that whatever's there was cleared out before they tore it down and processed it. So we get in there, right? And this shack, it wasn't possessed. It was built over the mouth of a goblin cave. So we're going in there thinking that we're going to cleanse this place. And we got us a horde of goblins. We went down there and I think, Ryan, back me up on this. 40, 50? Something like that.
There. Last I knew, he was in his room.
It's like as soon as Cole starts storytelling, the music just starts gently, really like almost unnoticeable at first, and slowly builds in intensity. Durango doesn't answer. He just like in between like the finger picking, he just adds in a couple of dramatic affirmative strums and continues picking. Just totally adding the music.
40, 50, something like that. Now, don't get me wrong. I was a bit younger. I wasn't as fit in it. We took down a quite great 15, 20 of them by ourselves, but eventually we get an overrun. Rango pulls the loot off his back and starts playing notes I'd never heard before. In a combination that only he could play himself. And he just starts seeing a little bit of blood from the ears. And then a little bit of the brains start coming out. And it actually looked like their heads. You could see the pressure of the veins, and eventually just the pressure was too great inside the craniums that horizontally out the ears. We went back, collected our gold. Got a little more off of them because it wasn't really a possession, it was more goblins, but...
All right, make the rolls.
Well
Oh,
done.
come on. 18. Ah,
That was a
for
20.
fuck's sake.
All right, Tens. What was the lie?
We're good. It's true. You're very good at lying. I don't know if it was the possession. That was a lie. Whether it was the house on top of the goblin cave. That was a lie. Or if it was your age. Good job.
Wait, there weren't no exploding goblin brains.
Damn it!
It's
That's
true.
depressing
It's true.
on
There was
so
there's
many
goblins,
levels.
and really, we barely got there with our lives. Wasn't no glory. I was bleeding across the ground.
I
Once a
every
pile of
day
corpses.
miss that cloak.
Great shame.
Honestly, it makes me regret having ever followed or inviting you along to do much of anything. Because really, the only reason I wanted you around was for the exploding heads.
I'm not saying that Rango ain't capable.
No, I don't believe it anymore. I'll have to see it happen.
Perhaps, Mr. Tens, before our time here is done, I shall have an opportunity to reignite your faith in the great Durango Fortescue.
I doubt it. Are we finished eating? My drink is finished. And he like pours it out, and the little bit that was left at the bottom just comes out in a solid ice cube.
Yes, I am finished with my meal. I have composed some new material I find quite promising. I believe I am ready to go. And yeah, he's immaculately groomed once again. Everything that could be shined is shiny. Everything that could have luster is lustrous. No dirt, not a hair out of place.
Yeah, so as you all gather yourselves and head back out into the streets, the wolves howl in the night, and it is cold. With little light shines through windows and cast shadows that seem to dance and follow you, as if eyes all over the streets are watching where you're headed. After a bit of time, you find, heading up that main street, you can see the shadow looming of this manor, this once proud estate that belonged to the Voctors. I'm trying to do too
Question,
many things
DM, while
at
you're
once.
getting
yes,
there?
yes,
Would that have counted as a short rest?
yes.
Okay. Cool.
Why will it not work the way I want it to?
Beautiful.
All right, well. Anyways. Stepping up to the house, you see what Danica was trying to explain to you. As the house itself seems like it's disgusted with its own image. A slouching roof hangs heavy over furrowed gables, and moss-covered walls sag and bulge under the weight of the vegetation. As you look at this sullen countenance, you hear the edifice of it actually groan underneath the weight. As you enter. And only then do you realize the extent to which the house hates what it has become. This once influential noble line does the best it can to hold on during these grim times.
Feel at home.
as you make your way to the up the stone steps to the front door. The door opens as you enter, or as you approach. A tall, thin woman answers. She is garbed and dressed finely in a flowing gown of red and black and gray with white lace. Her hair pulled up into a weird sort of almost sideways beehive. Well, come. Enter. I've been expecting you. And to be honest, you're a bit late.
Sorry.
Yes, well, this way.
Yeah. Need to make ourselves presentable. The road had a bunch of dirt.
As she enters, she leads you into a small foyer. The entryway, the door itself, you can see, is reinforced with these bronze bands. Two closets flank the front door, which seem to contain outdoor clothes and things for the rain. As you enter, everything is the inside is cleaner than you'd expect looking at the exterior of the house. As Fiona leads you into the a dining room. The dining room itself, where everything seems antiquated and old, but very fine, as if it had once cost a significant amount of money. The dining table itself is ornate and stretches the length of the room. A large crystal chandelier hangs above it. The silverware is tarnished, the dishes chipped at this point, but still look very elegant looking. There are 8 chairs, each backed, adorned with sculpted elk horns, and they surround the table. Arched windows made of lattice work and iron and glass look out into a small, fog-swept estate. As Fiona takes a seat at the head of the table. Well, my name is Fiona Voctor, and the lady of this home, noble of the village of Valaki. And while your reputation does precede you, who might all of you be?
It's good to be making your acquaintance, my lady. Myself, of course, I am the great Durango Fortescue. These are my companions, and he stands and gestures to each one of them in turn. This is the brave Sir Cole Mavvin, a
Pleasure.
hero in many lands. This is Mr. Esh. There are many surprises behind that grimace, I assure you. And last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Tensveta Neyota.
Well, you are quite interesting, Mr. Durango Fortescue, you said, yes?
The great Durango Fortescue, yes. And he bows once again.
Aye, and your complexion, your lineage, what fiendish in nature, yes?
The lady speaks the truth as far as I know. I must admit, I know very little of these things. I was simply born this way, you understand.
Of course. Well, gifted at birth. I quite imagine. Well, I have summoned you all here with a very specific purpose in mind. And I am not one to tarry over details, so I will be quite frank with you. I know that you have spent time with the Burgermeister. What is your opinion of the man?
He seems a bit, not so sure of his ways. There's a great party.
A very generous man, an appreciator of the arts, the finer things.
Very full of himself and self-serving.
I believe mad is the word I would use.
Interesting adjective.
This constant revelry and this idea that somehow Strahd is some sort of evil entity that is controlling the land and we must free ourselves from him via song and dance on a weekly basis. Is it not? Is this normal where you come from?
For me, yes.
Well, I can assure you it is quite irrational.
Yes.
He's a
no
fool.
one throws a festival every week.
Yes, a pompous fool.
Yeah, but his house sure looks a whole lot nicer than yours does right now.
Yes, well,
Mr. Ash, please, your manners.
I'm just saying.
I appreciate the honesty. It is true that we have found ourselves misaligned with the Baron Petrova, and he has made things quite difficult for my family.
And nobody seems to want to back you up, or what?
Well, you've seen what happens to those who disagree with the Baron's ideology, philosophy. Have you not been to the town square?
Sure. I just figured another noble house would be able to noble house their way
Well,
into a better plan.
that is not to say that I do not have friends. And we grow in numbers as the Baron's foolishness continues to drive this town into a depravity.
All right, well then let's cut to the chase. Why are we here?
Well, for exactly that reason, Mr. Ash. I am in search and desperate need of allies to help me depose of the Baron and put an end to this madness.
And what then do you think of the Vistani?
The Vistani. Thieves, beggars, fortune tellers, it's a carnival at best.
I believe that would be Octavio's calling, not the Vistani.
I'm sorry, you have to speak up, young man. I apologize.
I apologize. Allow me to be more clear with myself. I said I assume that it would be more in the realm of Rictovio's space to be a carnival master than it would be for the Vistani.
Is that, yes, that Rictavio. Yes, whatever
you
strange.
like.
What?
What is there anyone you like?
Yes, of course. As I just said, I have friends.
You have many friends. Give me a few
allies,
names.
of course. Well, that would be counter to the point. I mean, just because I've invited you here does not mean that I trust you. And I imagine that does not surprise you. I have made no secret of my opinions of the Baron. He's just too cowardly to come after me himself.
Well, say there was a change in management. What would you see done differently?
Well, it put an end to this foolish carnival nonsense, these festivities, and just get back to business with the town. It is a distraction every week. Coffers, gold spills from the coffers to support these festivals. People are required to turn up and spend their hard-earned money on drink and food and favor. Of course, taxes will have to be raised, but we can put an end to the festivals. It will even out in the end.
Is that it? You just want no more festivals? You want to depose an entire system of government?
Between him and his henchmen, yes, quite. But my family has a rightful claim to this land. We have been here long before, or an equal amount of time as the Petrovnas.
You know, I've seen a town that is Strahd friendly, and I look so healthy.
I assume you speak of Barovia, yes? And I don't know that Burgomeister, and she looks over at Ismark, it was one that I would consider friendly to Lord Strahd. But what is he? He's a landlord. Absentee, I will give you that. But he's no monster, this talk of curses and devils. He's a noble.
Does she believe what she's saying?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is she just covering up what she's like? Is she giving away anything in her facial expressions?
Make an insight check.
Cole, are you making one too?
Yeah, I'll make one.
Come on now. I have a +9 to insight. 15.
19. I've got a +1.
I know. It's always the low end that.
Well, you know, there's a hint that obviously this woman is very practiced at deception in a way that most nobles are, right? They speak around things.
Yep.
But she seems very convicted in what she's saying.
About Strahd in particular, or about the Burgomeister? Because I believe she wants the Burgomeister out.
Strahd as well. She doesn't seem to. She may not be bought in to all the stories.
Yeah, as she starts talking about Strahd, Durango's going to lean into his inherent talents, we'll call them, and use detect thoughts.
Detect thoughts. What are the components? Just verbal, yeah?
Let me double check here. I gotta look it up. I don't actually have it on my sheet. I just have the counter for.
It is verbal, somatic, material, and concentration. It's all 4. The material component is a copper piece.
Penny for your thoughts.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's smooth.
Yeah, so as you go through the casting of the spell, she quickly turns at you, and you think for a moment you catch her thinking what she's saying, right? The words thinking of it, and then she turns to you and says, "Yeah, there is more to my devilish friend than his good looks, I see."
Durango smiles, kind of a little bit sheepishly. Yeah, it was not only a finger I was born with, my lady. You must forgive.
Yes, well, I too have certain talents along these lines as well.
I don't like this.
She's protecting herself.
I don't want to be here. In fact, I think Tins will actually send out a telepathic message to at least Cole to just say, I don't want to be here anymore.
You can see she like waves a hand, and the lights in the room begin to flicker and dim, and then get real bright.
I am uncomfortable.
Durango does his best to smile confidently as he snaps his fingers, and all the doors in the room, all the cupboards, like anything on a hinge, just flies open.
She leans in and smiles at you. Yes, that's quite well done. Minor tricks, of course. I'm well read, well studied. It's not much else to do, of course, when your husband manages the estate. Typically, it's always best for a lady to learn, a few magical tricks.
Knowledge is a hard-earned jewel, and as he says that, his eyes turn to jewels in appearance.
So say, just say where to go along with what you're looking to accomplish here. What would you be looking from us?
Well, she kind of looks over at you and leans in, Cole, and gives your arm a bit of a squeeze. And your muscles, of course, and your natural charisma. You've all made quite a splash in town, and perhaps you could help rally the town folks to a degree that would make this whole thing a lot less troublesome. And of course, if his captain were to disappear as well, that would be most fortuitous. For all we could avoid quite a bit of bloodshed. And be honest, he'd be doing the entire village of Aloki a tremendous favor. That man is bloodthirsty. He's a killer.
Assassination.
Well, yeah, so what was his deal?
Consider it justice, Mr. Tinsvetter. He is a monster. He's killed before, and he will do it again.
Fortunately, regardless as to how you paint it with your pretty words, he is still in power here at the moment, so it would be considered an assassination, putting us in the line.
I am not looking to assassinate the Baron. I'm looking to take him, depose him. His captain, that Izek, on the other hand, he will need to see justice. But perhaps I had you pegged wrong. Perhaps you are not the champions of the people that I thought you were.
Well, it's not that. We understand we're a neutral party here. We're just simple contractors.
You clearly can't walk through the town square without seeing the extent of the Burgomeister's madness cascading out and
what else
damaging his own people.
What else have you done to try and depose of him besides just find random contractors out on the street?
I am not finding random contractors, and I would beg your pardon, Mr. Tinsvetter. I'm a lady.
Sorry. Right.
But no, I have gathered friends, and I will continue to gather strength in the city and supporters.
Will you be at the festival tomorrow with your friends?
I will not be attending, as I do not attend these festivities.
Perhaps. Here, how about I give you a counter offer before we move any further forward? Because I'm sorry if I'm speaking for everyone here, but I don't know what you mean by friends. If you really want to make a bit of an uprising, have a bit of a meeting amongst friends, have a dinner party with all of us together, so that way we can discuss the actual machinations of such a deposition.
In time.
Then it won't happen tomorrow.
In time, perhaps you will. I'm not saying tomorrow, but I am saying that what you're asking is that I gather all of my co-conspirators and put them at risk by introducing them to you at a party, only so that Izek and his henchmen can come in here and burn it to the ground with all of us inside of it.
I can see where you're getting that, but I did not use the word co-conspirators. You did, so that just made it to where you are conspiring to do something that is
I am
considered
absolutely
illegal.
conspiring. Yes.
That
Well,
is-
we knew this. What I think Tens is saying, and I think first off, again, I think we've got to discuss it.
Yes.
However, because it is serious in a political nature and could really change the course of an entire town of people, I think we just need a little bit more education about the town itself. I think, I'm not saying, and I know for a fact the townspeople ain't too keen on all the events. I get it. We know
You don't
this.
have the option to be keen, Master Mavvin.
I
It is
understand the
very-
forced nature. I get it. Not ideal. But again, we're outsiders here, and to come in and, create such a disposition as you're looking for, it's just gonna take some discussion.
It has been a most enlightening conversation, my lady, but one thing we have not discussed is the form of your gratitude for these services. You have noted that the treasury currently expends much towards these festivals. Some of this finds its way to our pocket as performers. Should there be no more festivals, I understand you would have a surplus of gold.
Well, if we are to be common mercenaries and not heroes, I suppose, then yes, of course, we could work out some sort of compensation for your efforts.
My lady,
I do-
you
I
will
do-
find us to be
I
many
will-
things, but not common.
Well, I will tell you again that this is an act of justice, and it is a righteous cause.
And tell me, how much righteousness should I give the innkeeper to keep my bed for the night? How much justice will buy me a meal?
Correct, but that is how the world works. Yes, but that does not mean that kindness does go overlooked. Have you never received a bed or a bit of food when you are in need? Have you never helped a stranger? A young
Occasionally,
Vistani
when
girl, perhaps. Yes.
Well, we're not against a good bit of charity if, I guess the terms are right. But again, seeing as that we're from here, we just need to do our due diligence.
Well, if we do our due diligence, then we should be able to avoid any nastiness or bloodshed. But I do not believe that the current leadership will leave their position easily
quietly.
or quietly. Yes. So
See, here's my issue.
it is best if we can avoid collateral damage, and of course, the more supporters, the more strength we have, then that can be avoided.
During this conversation, by the way, Cole will have sort of nonchalantly sniffed at the air and cast Divine Sense.
And Divine Sense gives you
The presence of strong evil registers on the senses like a noxious odor, or anything, anything good rings like heavenly music.
Mm-hmm.
celestial fiends and undead, is that it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So there's that obvious feeling of your friend. And then something else. Nothing large, just something small. As if sitting at the other end of the table, across from Lady Wagner.
Um. Cole is going to stand up from his seat and start. I'll walk around behind Ash, and as I pass Ash, I'm just gonna grab his shoulder quick, give him a quick kind of eye look, and start pacing around. Well, again, I'll think that if we had a bit more information, and I'll really talk to the townspeople, really get a read on them. Again, we do understand where this is going, and as I'm saying that, I'm gonna put my hands on the back of that chair and just sort of lean up against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just put some weight and try to do the thing where you like tilt the chair on its back legs a little bit.
Okay.
Ash is watching now because like Cole touched him and that doesn't happen. So
yeah,
he's-
seeing that, he's just gonna keep his eyes trained on Fiona.
Again, you're the only one that can see it. There's nothing physically there. There's no sound. But as you kind of put your hands around the back of the chair, whatever your sense is, whatever that feeling is, that bit of glow that alerts you to the presence of celestial fiend or undead, it sort of scurries underneath the table and up and around Fiona Wagner, like as if now sitting on her, like perched on her shoulder or behind her.
Does anything move on her clothing?
The rest of you see nothing.
So if we are to help you, and he's gonna plop down in that chair, and he's gonna look over at Miss Wagner. We're gonna need just some assurances of your honesty, and having people hide around in our presence without letting us know sort of betrays that a bit.
I'm not certain that I follow, but perhaps this will help. And she snaps her fingers. Yes, enter. And the door to her side opens, and a figure walks out. Ash, you immediately recognize him as the gentleman who was following you through the marketplace. Yes, Miss Wagner. And he nods and bows. And, my apologies to all of you. I did not mean to tail you. But, of course, it is my job to investigate for the lady. She hires me to gather information discreetly. Yes, Ernst is quite adept at his trade. And he works wonders here to provide me much needed information on what happens outside of these walls. So hopefully you're not too alarmed.
Finally, a friend. What is your name?
My name is you can call me Ernst.
Ernst. A pleasure.
Yes, it is a pleasure to meet you finally in person, Mr. Densvet, although I have to say I've watched your actions over the past few days and recommended that the lady reach out to you for assistance in her acquisition.
I'm curious. What actions are you speaking of? What all have you seen me do? I want to know how much I've missed you.
Well, you are not a quiet bunch, and he looks over at Durango. You're quite present in the city, but no, I saw your arrival. I was at the Blue Water the evening you arrived. I saw the interaction at the coffin maker's estate. Quite terrifying, that, but well done. And you seem heroic. And a holy man as well, Mr. Mavvin.
Just straightens up. Thank you. So that thing that I sensed earlier, is that him, or did I just get lucky and just call out someone else that was in the house?
How long does it last?
A minute.
A minute? Yeah, it's vanished, so you're not certain. Yeah.
Is that a minute or an hour?
1 round. So
Yeah,
10 seconds.
A minute, yeah.
Just it's like I understand you being cautious, but we notice you're following us a bit, and again, not getting the most warm and fuzzy feeling out of all this. We're being tracked. Has to be part of an insurrection of sorts.
Well, I promise you the insurrection will happen. We will see the madman off his mad throne. Whether you're involved or not. I guess if you refuse, then all I would ask is that you keep out of it and remain a neutral party while we practice the inevitable, which will be to remove the Burgermeister from his position, as he has clearly abused it.
He's gonna look at Ernst. Since you were there at the coffin maker's house, is there a reason why you wouldn't have joined in, other than your own safety?
Well, I would imagine my own safety would be more than enough. I did not enter the house, but I could see and hear from outside when the windows were smashed. I rushed around the side of the house to get a better look, obviously trying to keep my distance, as that is my trade. And what I caught through the window was quite terrifying, but it all happened very fast. I don't know that there was much I could have done to assist.
You did the right thing, my friend. The best thing to do was stay out of our way. And Durango gives an arrogant kind of prideful look.
Yes, I agree with this. I am not educated in such matters. Men I can handle. Whatever that was something altogether evil. But suffice to say, you did not turn this man in to the Burgermeister, which led me to believe that perhaps you saw a different, or held a different sense of justice.
What is her reaction during this whole back and forth about us killing the vampires?
She's very stoic. You can make an insight check.
Please and thank you. $21.
You're muted, bud.
So for the most part, she's very well practiced, and you can tell her composure is fine. It's not the first time she's heard it. The story, at least. But she doesn't seem upset.
I suppose you could say that we do have a different sense of justice. I don't see killing people or causing a big scene, a big to-do to be the necessary route of things to go. I'm not actually a fan of violence.
Well, it never
Well,
said nothing about violence. It doesn't have to get there.
Well, that is my thought precisely, but the more assistance I can have, then the easier it will be. But I promise you, we are gathering supporters daily.
We will be
And-
pushing for, regardless of how many followers you have, we have to get rid of his assistant. Similarly, how if we were to get rid of you, we would have to get rid of your assistant. And he looks at him briefly, and he just says, which would require some semblance of violence, I'm sure, if only to get them to be unconscious during whatever revelry
detained,
they may
imprisoned
be.
is more like it. I'd rather see our Burgomeister placed in the very stockades he would place his own people in, perhaps
Do
with
you
the
really
donkey head
think-
attached.
Do you really think that he's going to go quietly? I do not.
I don't either.
Then that implies that there will be violence involved. If you can find a way to do it without violence involved, you could potentially open my ears at least.
An overwhelming force is all I can imagine. And a precarious situation, if we can catch him off guard. Without those bloody dogs around, perhaps. If that were a thing.
And how have you been gathering your followers so far? Just letting them be disgruntled, whispers amongst the streets? There's
Well,
always some
of course, I have been
method,
very
I'm
vocal
sure.
about my contempt of the Burgomeister, and that has attracted certain individuals. Of course, Ernst has done his part. I have other people working for me, although one of them was in the house and has subsequently disappeared. How can
Have a
we
name?
imagine her name
Mhm.
was Veronica.
Veronica. Noted. I'll
She was a
mention.
household servant.
No, we heard about this.
Oh, you've heard about it.
I think it was mentioned while we were there entertaining him.
Yes, well, she has subsequently disappeared, and again, Isaac has that quality about him where young women in particular tend to disappear around him.
Well, don't know what to think about.
Yes.
Are we, got any more questions? I think, we have to discuss, this and, how would you want a response? Would you want us to drop a letter, to just stop by?
Yes, we should be discreet. I am under the assumption that the Burgomeister himself sent you here. Of course, to unravel my devious plot. So I would appreciate your discretion in this matter. To the best as you see fit. If he is going to come for me, he will most certainly do so. But we as well will not go down without a fight. But the coward is in no rush to drag me through the streets, I guess.
Well, that would ruin the joyous atmosphere now, wouldn't it?
Yes, quite.
Yes, and on that note, Mr. Gold, the joyous atmosphere, we have quite a day to prepare for tomorrow. Spreading that joyous atmosphere, a job for which we are being very well compensated, I might add.
This is true.
If it is simply gold you are after, then again, once we have deposed the Burgermeister, I will be certain you are well compensated. It is also not outside of my means to provide such compensation, but times are tough. That being said,
if you were
she
looking
just waves
for...
a hand. She waves a hand, and several gold pieces just ting, 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 just kind of like fall onto the table. We all have our gifts.
I didn't get any peek from her when I did Divine Sense at all. Okay.
No.
Being a bit coy about it, in a bad manners and all. Just kind of clean up the coin a little bit. And just stack it up nice. It's not even going to take it. It's just going to stack it up nice.
It's like 10 gold pieces.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing crazy. It was just a show.
Gotcha. Yeah, let us let's talk about it.
I have one more question, if I may. If you're looking for an uprising, why didn't you speak with the Dusk Elves out of town?
Who's to say I'm not?
Just curious if you have.
The Dusk Elves have already made enemies of Lord Strahd, and are a very broken lot. They tend to stick to themselves. They don't often treat with people from the village. It is a very sad situation. Most of them now have turned to alcohol and,
Well,
they are reveling in their own sadness.
I've found in my past experience that broken people are the easiest to manipulate, and that is...
Yes, convince them to take part in another uprising. Yes, that's exactly the thing. Even I don't, but I don't know. Perhaps they will listen to you.
I doubt it. I'm done here.
With that, Cole gets up and, it's been a pleasure, Lady Fiona. We will contact you with full reply.
Yes, of course. Ernst, would you see them out kindly? And as he guides you to the front stairs, and if you need to reach me, I will. I'm always close by.
Speaking of which, is there any way that you could possibly signal to us that you're nearby when you are, so that way we can potentially deliver that message back
How
to
would you
Our Lady?
like me to signal to you?
He thinks about it for a moment, pulls out his whistle and hands it to him. Is this not discreet enough, or do you want a mirror instead? I have one or the other.
This is the complete opposite of discreet. I believe the literal use of this is to get someone's attention, is it not?
He pulls out the mirror and swaps it and says, just shine a light in my face. I'll see it.
I will do my best. If not, I will employ other means. I travel the town freely, so. Well, with that, have a good evening. Stay safe. These streets, although the city is walled, are not necessarily safe after dark.
Have a good evening.
He nods and bows as the door creaks shut behind you. The building itself, again, seems to groan as it does. The wet streets lie before you as that mangled, sort of lopsided house fades behind you. And that's where we'll pick up after the break. So thank you, everybody. for sticking in there, and hopefully you're enjoying this episode. Make sure you're spending your elf eggs wisely. We are not only giving away a custom set of Dragonite dice based off of Vidania Galanadel, Miss Val from our Tuesday night 5 Best Friends game, but we're also giving away a game called
Tonight it is still there.
Still There. So 300 elf eggs get you still there, just the cost of a follow or probably 30 minutes of watching. So
And there is no entries so far. Guys, win a game. Literally.
I'll take it if nobody else does. I'm buying this one up right now.
Awesome. Well, while you guys debate that and what to do with those precious little elf eggs, we're going to take a quick break and we'll see you in give us 10. All right. And we are back. So as all of you step back out into the dark, wet streets of Vallaki, an odd encounter amidst a sea of odd encounters, and another question, and more questions weigh on your mind. What are you all doing?
Let's go home. Let's go to bed.
Well,
We have much to prepare for tomorrow. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking out for ravens.
Make another perception check.
That's garbage. 7.
Yeah, the streets, all you hear is the howling of the wolves in the woods. No ravens.
I do think at this point that Tins is a little paranoid about being followed all the time, like they have been apparently the entirety of the time that they've been in town. And if I roll one just to see if anybody's following us in general.
Sure.
$24.
You turn back towards the house, kind of turning around to see if Ernst slipped out and he's still following you. And you do see a raven. Black feathers standing on the iron gates outside of the Wagner home.
He's just gonna quietly follow everybody with his head on a swivel.
Okay. You make your way back through the streets, quiet as the town is at night, preparing for the next day's festivities and back to the Blue Water Inn. Right to bed? Into the bar? What's the plan?
Tins is going to tentatively send out a telepathic message to each person, just say, I think we should talk in private about that meeting.
Just nod.
And
So as you
Durango-
make your way back to the Blue Water and head upstairs, I guess. What is the plan?
Yeah, it's one of the rooms.
Tins is
So
going
you-
to assume that Durango has a certain setup that he doesn't want interfered with, and invite everybody into his and Ash's room.
Okay. So you head up the stairs. A bit of candlelight still burns somewhere down in the bar, the tap room area of the Blue Water. The embers from the fire begin to burn out. It seems quiet. Everyone seems to be asleep as you make your way into Sveta's room. Closing the door behind you, you believe yourselves to be alone.
Also a
So-
little on edge. Edge is gonna look around and see if he notices anything magical that he doesn't understand, or any holes in the wall that need inspecting, just like anything being spied upon. Like he knows, like he just witnessed this lady do magic. He doesn't know.
Just with a casual glance.
Well, studying around, but not like flipping mattresses or anything.
All right, another perception check.
Oh, my character sheet keeps closing on me. Perception. Nice solid number 12.
Yeah, so you look around and you're looking for holes or things in the wall. And while the inn is well made, there are some cracks and things like that, but mostly leading to the other rooms. And you wait and you try to see if you can hear anything, but you see everything seems very secure.
Just go about, keep listening to everybody.
Well, first things first, we're good, right? Yeah, we're... Okay. We ain't doing that shit, are we?
I'll be honest with you, I don't know who's good or who's bad as far as those words take you. A thought occurred to me while we were sitting in there that we're worried about this lady being the one that Strahd's working with, but what if he's working with the other guy already? The other guy's got to clamp down on the city while it's all given the appearance of fun and joviality. I mean, let's be realistic. We know that there's some not so happy undertones, some darkness that Strahd could create a little beacon of hope for the rest of everybody around him, but he still controls it. It's still just another pit for one of his pits for people to fall into.
Well, for me, it's simple, right? We want to leave. Strahd's the one keeping us from leaving.
Yeah, no.
We don't want to
don't
do
disagree
anything that
with
makes
that.
them... You know? We don't want to make them stronger. We know the Burgermeister here is a shit, right?
Right.
But it ain't our job to fix systems of government.
So, sorry for interrupting. It's irritating to hear no actionable conversation here. No offense to either of you. Here's the situation. Here's what our options are. I don't care about opinions on the matter. Our options are don't do anything and let things happen where they happen. But if we continue to not do anything, one side is going to get upset and come after us now because we have now put our fingers into their situations, no matter how we spin this stick. 2, if we pick a side, we're picking a side. And neither one is good. Neither one is entirely wrong either.
Well, I don't know if it's like this where you're from, mate. But that's the world, isn't it?
It is.
In the meantime, gentlemen, until we are able to make our escape from these lands, we are stuck under the rule of these people. It would appear that the winds have shifted. Either we change our sails accordingly, or perhaps we find ourselves capsized.
I say we
fair.
do this show tomorrow, and we go find this Amber, whatever. Maybe that'll shed some light for us.
I think it might be wise to get all the outside perspective that we can.
It might do us good right now to just be outside. Step away
Yeah.
from this.
I agree, actually.
Well, tomorrow, during the festival, we could keep our ears open, talk to some of the people, get a feel for them, what they're thinking.
I don't really see the point. We already know what they're thinking. They're not going to like either one at the end of the day. There is no real champion of the people, as she called it, in this town, and there never will be. Frankly, unless you decide to stay here, Cole, in which case, maybe. But that would require you to depose of 2 different nobles. Not exactly the best idea, is it? There is no good for these people in this town the way it is set up. And I, for one, am not one to pick an evil for someone else.
Well, we ain't the ones making the decision, mate. Yeah, it's happening with or without us. They don't need us.
Then let the chips fall where they may, but we're going to be... If we are here during that, we're going to have to pick a side or just wholesale slaughter, one of the two. I do not see this going quietly, no matter how much she says it will.
All right.
I need to see the evidence before I pick any side. And all I saw was a woman who was disgracefully arrogant in her position, thinking that she has it all.
Y'all are losing sight. The goal is to get out of here. Let the chips fall. Whoever comes on top is the one that we use to help us get out of here. Or we know that's the one that we need to avoid to help us get out of here. I still think we just need to get the hell out of Dodge.
We ain't got no
Figure out what's
contract
going
with neither. We ain't got to choose a side. We know what's going on. We don't need to.
Neither one of the Burgomeister or this lady are dumb. They both know that the other side is going to try to recruit us to do the same goddamn thing that they just recruited us to do. They're banking on our discretion of sorts, I suppose. So, we just leave. Find something else to do. Piss off for a few days.
However, I don't see this. I'm going to be completely clear with you, Ash. I don't see us succeeding against someone who lives in a castle up on a hill, still controlling everything as he does. Going quietly either. We're going to need help. We've already decided on that one.
Right. Until we can figure out whose help we need.
Well, it's like she said,
it's
not going to happen tomorrow.
Consider, Mr. Ash, our situation currently. This noble lady, someone we know nothing of, have heard of only very recently, asked us for help in something which seemed rather extreme, no? And we find ourselves reluctant to assist, yes? This is a chance for us to increase our own name and our own standing in these lands with very little effort of our own, seizing on the natural changing of the tides to further encourage others to assist us when that time is due.
I guess
right.
My only question would be in this scenario is if both were to fall away, what would rear its head?
Ain't our business, mate.
But it is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now that we have put our fingers into both pots, we cannot get out.
Both pots think we're a spoon. It don't matter. They'll mix it with something else they ain't got on a spoon.
To be fair,
We ain't tied to neither. We ain't tied to neither of them.
No, but we have to have one of them in our pocket to get to Strahd.
So let's go find something that would point us to which one we want in our pocket. Either we go break into one of their houses, root around, find out what we want to, or we fuck off and try to find off information somewhere else.
I think after tomorrow we should fuck off for a bit.
Perfect.
I would say though, Mr. Ash, that which one we would want in our pocket would be the one which ends up on top of this door, which sounds most likely to be this insurrection.
The one we want in our pocket is the one that's gonna not ally with Strahd if that's who we need to take out to get the fuck out of here. So,
I think we're thinking too big picture for what's happening at the moment. I think we could probably discuss this more on the road as we move forward. I think we've come to an accord here. He kind of looks at all of them for a moment, making sure to meet eyes. That once that we are finished with tomorrow, we will hit the road and take care of some things. I think we ought to take care of the wine issue first if we're here to help the people before we move to Strahd. Then we move on from there. We are still looking for allies to get us up to Strahd's Keep. I think if we're anywhere close to that, because that is the opposite direction from the Amber Temple as far as I'm aware, I think we should probably make our way around the lake. Maybe even make the Amber Temple our last stop.
Lake's north, right? Like, generally speaking, from where we're at, and then
Yes.
the temple's south. Okay.
Yeah.
And the Mad Mage was also north. And I believe the wine was northeast. Is that right? The winery? Okay. You're muted, but I got the I can read lips.
Somebody took the observant.
Did you take observant?
Nah, Chuck did, but
No, southwest. Here, I'll just to add some perspective. You are here.
Can you make little marks on the map where these things are?
The pinging mod is still off. But yeah, so we'll do this here. Balaki, this is where you are now.
Uh-huh.
What else?
The winery. Okay. The windmill is here. Yep. The Mad Mage was seen north in the woods somewhere. That's a big one. Yep. What was out by Lake Baratok? There was something that we were supposed to go look at Lake Baratok, and I can't remember what it was.
That was the Fisher, wasn't it? That's where we just got the...
No, that was Lake Zarovich.
That was Zarovich. What was Lake Baratok? There was something there at Lake Baratok that's been mentioned.
Wasn't there the Abbey?
Is that the Abbey at Lake
Yeah.
Baratok? I thought that was the mountain that way, out that way, past the Svalika Woods.
Mount Gakis down at the bottom would be where.
There's a tower over here. I think you were told about that. The Abbey would be this way.
Yeah.
Mount Gakis and the Amber Temple down here.
Okay, so the temple is way out of reach at the moment. That was several days. So, okay. So the
Do we,
winery is out.
We might actually want to start, well, like right to left.
If we go right to left, it would wind up being a road that kind of goes like, we would wind up following a thing that goes this way, and then we come back across, searching for the Mad Mage along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Hit what was ever at Lake Baratok, come back around over to the Svalika Woods, but that's like a full week and a half's journey out in the woods. The other part of that is that Tens wants to get the wine taken care of for
Okay.
our host. Like
Okay, so
that's
just
what
start
we
all the
said.
way as far west as we can,
Far-
and then.
I think starting far left and then going north and around back into town, because nobody else finds the windmill important. Other than Tens.
What we can do is hit it on the way to Mount Cacus.
Circle
That
back
was my
around.
thought too. Because once we hit the, actually my thought was we could actually go all the way around before we even touch on the windmill. We can go back to Valaki, meet up with the people there that we're supposed to meet up with, get some supplies, yada yada yada, because Gakis is going to be awful, right? And then just go back around to the windmill and go straight south on the Mount Gakis to get the shit.
Okay.
At the Amber Temple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that worked.
Tens puts that out there in planning and in character. It's just that depressing Tens is very hard to keep a solid plan in place. Fuck. I could do it, but we'll be here for the next 40 minutes.
You can make a plan without thinking it's gonna work.
Exactly. But
So, as you guys spend the majority of the evening coming up with a plan, a strategy for what the next few days looks like, or how you will avoid any further entanglement in the political structure of Valaki, as the plans come to a close and you find yourselves heading off to your separate rooms for another evening of restless sleep and or meditation. Deep in the woods, in the distance, through the fog and the rain, wolves continue to howl throughout the night. Is there anything anyone's looking to accomplish before they get their long rest?
Tens is gonna do something dumb.
Surprise, surprise.
He's gonna wait until Ash is asleep in the middle of the night. And he's just going to he's gonna give a quick prayer to the Raven Queen, not knowing that anything's gonna be if it's worthwhile or any of that effect, but the ravens are all around, and he's just going to desperately ask for some semblance of protection. And then he'll assume that he's not going to feel anything, get anything, and just lay down and pass out. He's not trancing tonight. He's going to sleep.
Okay. So your nighttime visions are also filled with horrifying sights, corpses and trees, and dead bodies pulling themselves from the earth, reminders of your first stop in this land, haunting your every waking hour. And as the sun reluctantly rises over those twin mountains, and the valley still sits in that overcast, shadowy state, the town of Valaki begins to come alive. Earlier than usual, noises from down below wake you all as you find that Danica and Owen begin to prepare a cart for the festival, where they will be serving beverages, and they're quickly moving about as everybody is preparing for the Festival of the Blazing Sun.
I'm going to see them preparing the cart, and let me help with that. And just give me a minute here. I'm gonna go near where it looks like there might be like a horse tie or something like that, like a stable. I'll take some time, and I'm gonna cast Find Steed.
Okay.
And
So you
it's,
cast a spell, and you've cast a spell before. You're familiar with it. They taught it to you at the Citadel. And the essence of it, what does your steed look like?
so my steed is a it's sort of like a war draft horse, sort of a larger larger in mass. Look like it can take a hit. Probably comes up to about back. Oh, it's my neck, and I'm about 5'9", I think. So he's tall at the shoulders. Beautiful black stallion with a very nicely manicured sort of longer shag around the hooves, long kept tail mane, and the mane isn't nothing special about it. It's just swept over to the side. Big, large black warhorse.
Is what you would typically expect to see. However, you turn quickly and look at your steed, and instead of the black warhorse you're familiar with, it is a skeletal, rotting version of the same horse. The vision itself horrifying to look at, as it's almost as if the horse itself had been dead for 3 weeks before it appeared. And you know that it's magic. It's your spell. You've done this before and summoned the steed this way. You're very familiar with what it looks like, but now it's a twisted, horrifying version.
Does it look like it's in pain? Is it sounding like a horse, or is it like in agony?
It makes no sound or anything. It just stares at you out of lifeless eye sockets.
I can't have a horse out here like this, and damn, that's a waste of a spell. I'm gonna dismiss him. This is, yeah, I'm gonna, but with pity, I'm gonna dismiss it out of pity.
Yeah, and as it vanishes once again into the ether, dissipates.
I'm gonna step out and go, oh, sorry, that did not work out like I thought it would.
I promise you, we really don't need much help. Between the two of us, we can get us there. We've done it many times, once a week actually. What were you looking for? We don't have any horses back there.
No, sorry, never mind. I thought if there was one back there, I'd brought them up and help out, but Rango, can I speak with you quick?
Yes, but of course, my friend. Yes.
An infernal. Rango, something's wrong with my horse.
That is most unusual, Mr. Cold. He is, well, not a natural horse, no? What could be wrong?
He's a conjuration. I designed him. I know what he looks like. It was a skeletal. It was dead. It was a dead horse.
You summoned a pile of dead horse, not a noble steed.
Well, it was like undead. It was standing. It was on his legs. It didn't look like it was suffering or nothing. But it conjured a dead horse.
This is most unusual, Mr. Cole. And I do not understand why this would be, but perhaps this could be useful at a later time.
I want to know why my magic's messed up and I'm conjuring dead horses instead of my horse.
I do not know who you would speak to about these things. There is not anyone from your order in these lands, no?
No, but there's that mad wizard.
Well, I guess in due time we shall see. In the meantime, you are stuck on the ground with the rest of us, my friend.
Just just keep an eye on your talents. It's a might if it's affecting my horse like that, it might be affecting yours. Your disposition.
Durango's expression seems almost offended that Cole would consider conjuring the horse to be on the same level of like ability as Durango's playing, but he plays long in. But of course, my friend, I thank you.
Okay, so as you guys begin to help them prepare and pack up the wagon, Tensveta, Ash, what are you guys doing?
Tens has come out in autumn. Very lazily, like picking around, just kind of like talking to people as they pass by, kind of warming up. Occasionally he'll pick something up that's edible and nibble on it for a few moments, regardless as to what it is. That's about it.
Ash is just going to be kind of not wanting to be too much in the way. Ash is just going to be kind of hanging out, observing. Now that he knows for a fact that somebody was following him, and he really didn't, clock it. He wants to be extra vigilant, making sure nobody else is sneaking up on him that he doesn't want.
Sure. And as you step out in that stair in the morning mist, much of the city is now a bustle. People are coming and going. People are getting themselves prepared for the festival. Everybody with all too familiar fake smiles and already full bloom as the festival is set to begin. You all gather yourselves and meet up downstairs. Danica turns to all of you and, all right, well, we'll see you over there. I assume.
I assure you, my lovely host, we will be quite impossible to miss.
I couldn't imagine anything less. But, yeah. Anyways, we'll see you over there. Just make sure you lock up when you're done, okay?
Do that. On his way there, you'll see Cole sort of take up this role, and he's done this a few times for like events that that Durango has performed on. He kind of takes up the role of like tour manager. So he's going around checking in with like stagehands, figuring out where we should be, what times. Oh, there'd be signings, That's
Durango
right.
has an extensive rider.
Yeah, as you get to the town square, that massive stage set up with this big wicker wood and stick and tinder blazing sun symbol raised high, people standing around looking at it. There are several people drawings. There's a couple jugglers and there's a few other acts there. Rictavio is gathered a bit of a crowd as he is reciting a poem or a tale, very similar in the style that Durango does, but without the music. It is just auditory storytelling. And children are clapping and dancing around as he begins to go into his act, and all of you find a place. You're directed to a spot not quite near the stage, but a little off on the western side of the town square, where you were told that you can begin your performances and work as needed. Still no sign of the Burgomeister.
So, gentlemen, I forgot to ask the rest of you. Shall you be participating in these performances today, or have you agendas of your own?
Well, that depends, really. I've been wondering if you want me to tell the story of the bear and the Burgomeister and the land of Fakuri, or if I should Fakuri off and go see what that purple light was at the Burgermeister's house.
Mr. Tens, your storytelling is always welcome on the stage with me, but if you feel compelled to take advantage of the great distraction today, I could hardly hold it against you.
Well, I don't know. Thoughts, fellas?
I'm
That might
kind
be.
of with him.
I mean, that might be a bit far away. You know, I was thinking maybe something a little bit more local, like a tiger.
Right. But the tiger's going to be here, so I could actually... That's a good point. I could go and check out the rest of it, couldn't I?
You could.
Okay. Then I think that's what I'll do then. I'll go check out his room, go check out the tiger cage thing, I guess.
And I'll make sure he doesn't get caught flat-footed.
Your
Wonder if there's
talents,
any
Mr.
food.
Ash, shall also be missed, but I shall make do.
I have no doubt that you will, Durango.
Are you sure? You seemed a little apprehensive of me the other night for asking dumb questions about skin.
You keep asking dumb questions about skin, I'll make sure you get caught.
Deal.
So as the festival continues to unfold and the crowds begin to gather, Durango, go ahead and make a performance check with advantage with you and Cole.
Nice. Come on, baby. Nice.
Thank God for that advantage.
Yeah.
So 22.
Yeah.
Describe your initial performance for this festival.
So Durango's looking to, because there's a lot going on, he's not wasting a lot of time with preamble. He's just going straight into fast, catchy, energizing kind of music that would catch people's attention, get them stomping their feet, maybe even showing a little bit of genuine enjoyment rather than just this like plastered on fake smile, and just he's seeing what kind of attention he can gather, what kind of crowd he can get under his spell, so to speak. Kind of testing the waters.
All right. So as you begin to very quickly just jump into some of your better and more attractive performances, the earth shakes a little as you begin to incorporate your magic into the performance itself. Cole getting out quickly and following your rhythm, just shouting and encouraging the audience, firing people up. He is bouncing between people, pushing them towards you and away from some of the other attractions.
Arms bouncing hand the whole time too.
Mm-hmm. A few moments later, you catch sight of the Burgermeister and his wife, still being shadowed by those two massive mastiffs as they walk through the crowd. Several of the guards clear people from their path, including that massive one with the covered arm, Isaac, just glowering and staring down the passerbys as he begins to make his rounds to each stop, but inevitably getting pulled towards you. And rapturing everyone in your performance, you dive right in and just continue to a perfect distraction as Densveta and Ash slip off into the crowd and disappear. Which direction will the two of you head?
I think we're gonna go straight for the. I think Tens would go straight for the cage. He's more interested in the cage than he is the other.
Okay. At this point, it is starting to get a little closer to noon already. People are already getting drunk and have been drinking heavily, some of them since the night before. But as you get to the carnival itself, where the wagon is kept, that stockyard, you hear a ruckus. Two voices shout at each other. Well, I fucking dare you. If you won't fucking do it, I'll do it. All right, you call me names. I'll show you. and you hear bang and a clatter. As two of you come around the corner, you see the Wagner brothers, drunk already at noon, begin to push and shove each other, goading each other to mess with the tiger in the wagon. You see the wagon shake, and you hear the roar as one slams into the other, and the door cracks. You hear a groan and a creak as the tiger forces its way out. The brothers scream in terror as the lion begins to roar.
No, no.
Shit.
And as the two of you stand there, it begins to walk menacingly towards you as the brothers run and dash off past you, screaming. And that's where we'll pick up next week.
Fuck, man.
Fantastic.
Oh no.
Thank you, everyone, for sticking in there and watching this episode of our -2 Presents Curse of Strahd. Hopefully you're enjoying your time here. Can't help but love playing probably one of the most infamously dangerous D&D modules in existence, and watching my very experienced player group completely split their party up. Gotta love it. Gotta take advantage of it, right? Can't not. And so thank you guys for being a part of here to witness all that. For those of you who have not or have been saving to the end, or those the members of the Raiders that are still here, we are giving away a game tonight. As we always do, we give away a Steam game. It is 300 elf eggs. It's the cost of a follow. If you click the follow button, doesn't even count. It doesn't even matter if you click it unfollow right afterwards, but you get you the 300 eggs, win a game. Thanks for stopping by. We'll give you something, maybe. The game tonight is... There it is.
Still there.
Still there. Something like that, yeah. Still
There
there.
it is.
Yeah, there it is. Here we are.
Still there.
Something like that.
It was.
But it's a pretty nice point-and-click adventure game from what everyone's telling me. So hopefully I bought you enough time for that while Ryan calculates those totals. Also, we're giving away a set of custom Dragonite dice. We give those away every month. So if you save up, if you like what you saw and you come hang out with us on any of our other shows, you can save up to 2,000 to, of course, get an entry to that giveaway. This month's dice are based off of another seasonal Eladrin from our Tuesday night games, Vidania Galanadel. So, yeah, I think that's it.
All right.
Ryan, do we have a winner?
Spinning that wheel.
Round and round, where it stops, nobody knows.
It's right there.
And as if it was any question, the most winningest winner on the Neg2 channel, Darth Educatus. You've won
Nice.
literally half of all of our giveaways. So congratulations. You've won yourself another Steam game.
It's a very lucky man.
I'm gonna
Very
need
lucky
you to
man.
start inviting people and telling people, look, man, I've got like $100, $200 worth of stuff.
He's literally
from
he's
these
taking
guys.
our
They're
keys
just
and giving them
giving
away,
it
and he's got his own giveaways that he's doing.
He's
Oh,
reselling
jeez.
our Steam keys. Darth, what are you doing?
Why, man, why?
Anyways, congrats, Darth. Thanks for hanging out again, as always. And for the rest of you, come by any of the times we do this. We give away games. You get it for free.
True.
Can't beat it. But you guys want to raid? Let's have Mr. Performance himself, the great Durango Fortescue. Why don't you go ahead and roll us a D20?
Everybody was rolling pretty hot tonight. I just got to say, up until right now, that's a 3.
Hot rolls, hot rolls.
It looks like that's gonna be Dork Tales as we're going the reign of the
Dork
Emirs.
Woo.
Yeah, that's
All right,
an
guys,
excellent
well,
name.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're going to go bother these guys. Please be loud, make some noise, make some new friends out there. And of course, if you haven't seen any of our shows, we do this every Sunday. We do another game with Chuck over there, Tenzveta, who every other Monday night for our noir-themed detective D&D. And then Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, we've got a ton of stuff going on. But we're also in a weird break period for some of it. So just stay tuned. And we'll see you next time.